You're listening to Where You Live with Gene and Tony.
Welcome back to Where You Live. We are broadcasting live from the Concierge Landscape Studios. When it comes to grounds care, remember you want someone who's proactive, looking for site solutions before problems appear. You know, I think I'm right when I say that anyone can quickly drive a small tractor across your lawn. But you want someone who knows and understands how curb appeal adds value to your property. That's Concierge Landscape. Give them a call, 763-213-2410.
I just wanted to point out to our listeners, in case you hadn't noticed, our bumper music today. We've been playing both kinds of music, country and Western.
Country and Western.
That's right.
Yes.
It's kind of fun.
That's kind of special to your heart, too,
Yes,
isn't it?
it is, because my husband is a pedal steel guitar player.
Yes, and what was the story? One of the things that was you were attracted to.
When, Bill, our producer, played Buck Owens earlier, and my story of how I fell in love with Jeff is that when I met him, he had a bumper sticker, a homemade bumper sticker on his car that actually looked perfect, and he had combined two bumper stickers to form one.
Okay,
and the bumper sticker on his car read, "Visualize Buck Owens."
Visualize Buck Owens.
I thought, man, a guy with that kind of sense of humor is my kind of guy.
And so the
rest is history.
And the rest is history.
That's
yes,
right.
as it were. Well, folks, hey, we want to hear from you today. 651-289-4488. We've got a story about an awful way that the media out in the state of Nevada is just trashing the HOA industry. We want to hear from you on what you think about that. And then we're also going to be talking a little bit later about a legislator in Texas who says that what associations ought to do instead of foreclosing is they ought to start having the homeowners offer up what's inside to make payment with their personal property for past due association fees. What do you think about that idea? But let's get right into this next article here, HOA industry. This is the article. I kid you not. It's titled HOA Industry Distancing Itself from Situation at Raided Office. This is from Channel 3 KSNV News in Las Vegas, Nevada. It says a day after federal and state law enforcement raided a local homeowner association office, investigators are still not saying anything about what they took and why. However, the HOA industry is talking and distancing itself from what allegedly happened at the Paradise Spa housing development, saying it doesn't reflect homeowner associations across the valley. Paradise Spa residents allege that the treasurer of the homeowner association pocketed $842,000 in insurance money, which was meant to repair a burnt-down building. Nevada law is very clear that there's only one purpose that they can use the money for. That's to repair and restore the premise, said Paul Terry, who's the president-elect for Community Associations Institute, a group which represents homeowner associations. Clearly, it's wrong, Terry said. It's a horrible situation for the individuals that are involved, but it doesn't indicate anything about the HOA industry in general and some of the issues that we're facing. Terry admits that some homeowners get frustrated with their HOA, and they say that some directing boards act improperly with finances from time to time. But still, he says they are necessary to the community. He said this whole thing, this HOA. He was asked by the person on the news, so in your view, it's sort of bad apples that are ruining things and not necessarily the whole industry? And Terry replied, absolutely. The vast majority of homeowners and HOAs run smoothly. That's why you never hear about them.
Well, like you said, this is an example of inflammatory reporting. The headline itself, the HOA industry is distancing itself from a situation at a rated office. Okay.
Isn't that awful?
Is that what they're doing? They commented on the story. They gave their opinion, the HOA industry, through CAI president, Terry, and said, we don't think this is indicative of HOAs as a whole. This is something that happened at this community and was a crime allegedly perpetuated by a specific individual, but not every HOA is facing these kinds of issues. How is that the industry distancing itself from the story?
I agree. This is a prime example of the news media. They're being sensationalist at best, and at worst, they're just being despicable, slanderous opportunists.
Yes, they are.
Because if CAI had not said anything, they would have come out with the article saying CAI is strangely silent on the matter. But the fact that they come out and say, you know what, we don't. We're not behind anything like this.
Of course,
that
we
is
don't
wrong.
condone this. That's
now
right.
They're distancing themselves.
Yeah.
You can't win.
No, you can't. Even the intro to
folks.
the story, investigators. This is what they quoted. Investigators are still not saying anything about what they took from this office or why. Then 2 paragraphs down, it says, "Yeah, the issue was a treasurer embezzling money from the association. So I guess we know the why of why they were raiding this office, right?
Yeah,
Don't we?
It seems ridiculous. And if the fact that law enforcement doesn't initially talk to you, they're in the middle of an investigation.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right.
Yeah.
This is just sensationalist. There's no fact in here whatsoever. All this is doing, this stirs things up. The media loves a scapegoat. Is what it comes down to.
And they love to look at this situation as a landlord-tenant thing. The evil landlord homeowners association taking advantage of individual owners, and they never, ever, ever acknowledge the fact that all of the homeowners are the homeowners association.
Yeah.
They never, ever seem to acknowledge that fact.
You're right. And so, folks, when you read articles like this, you got to take it with a grain of salt. For these folks from Channel 3 News, shame on you.
That's right.
This is just despicable.
I think this type of reporting is only increasing the incidence of HOA syndrome in the state of Nevada. Don't you?
Yes, it must be.
It's certainly giving me a case of HOA syndrome.
They're certainly feeding on themselves in there.
Oh my gosh.
Finding a boogeyman behind every bush.
Call us with your opinions, 651-289-4488.
And, we do have a caller on the line right now. We have Colleen, who's on line 1 from St. Louis Park. Good morning, Colleen.
Good morning. Thank you for taking my call. My husband and I are doing some landscape improvements, and we have a 3 by 10 foot patio area, and we're going to have that cemented in. And we're wondering if we should have it stamped, maybe a little fancier, or if it's better to just have it this plain cement so that it's neutral to everyone's taste when we go to sell eventually.
Oh,
well,
okay, good question.
Yeah, do you have a preference on what you and your husband would like?
Well, I would like it stamped, and my husband would like it plain.
Well, see, now there's a problem I can't help you with.
I love it. I'm starting to feel like click and clack.
Yes.
We're going to solve marital issues.
But, even more important than what your husband thinks or what you think is what the HOA thinks. It might be something like stamping the top of the cement. I know what you're talking about. It can make it look
gives it a texture
or a
design. Yeah,
and that's a fun thing to do at a low cost, and looks and can the look
really
is
nice.
very nice.
Yeah.
The only thing is that you don't know whether or not the HOA would consider that architecturally too different from the other homes, and from that standpoint would say they wouldn't allow it because they think it would break up the architectural continuity of the place. So for that reason, you probably ought to consult with them first. Have you done so?
Well, this is actually just a separate house.
Oh, okay, a single-family home.
Oh,
so
single-family
it's
home.
really just between you and your husband.
Yeah.
Well, I vote for your idea. I like the stamped look.
And I'll vote for your husband, just because I don't think he ought to be on his own.
He shouldn't be unsupported. And truthfully, Colleen, I don't know how much impact that would have on the value of the house. Maybe a real estate sales agent could give you a little insight, but I got to think it's not going to impact the value that much.
Okay.
Either way.
Oh yeah, no. If you're saying truthfully, if you're taking a look at that stamped effect, I think that could be a really nice look.
Now see, there you did.
Yes.
You went to the other side.
I just didn't want to see her husband just being unrepresented here. But Colleen, thanks for calling.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Well, we have got another caller on the line. Brooks, if you could hold, we need to take a break. When we come back, we'll take Brooks' call, and then we want to talk about this legislator who wants to offer up another idea. Instead of an HOA foreclosing on its members, why not just take their stuff? More on this on Where You Live with Gene and Tony on AM 1280, The Patriot.